one of your hosts. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my name.
Right.
That's my name this week. Drinking water.
Yeah. And I'm Beardy McBeardface with the beard.
Damn it. Savannah's not with us this week. She is under the weather. I know she was looking forward to this one just as much as we were doing a Kiss album. But hey, we have our rankings. We're going to trudge on through it. Hopefully you get to feeling better soon, Savannah. So we have an open invitation. We have an extra seat available or two if anyone wants to hop on with us on this episode for Greatest Kiss. Come on with it. I'll send you the link real quick. Let us know.
Yeah, do it.
Do it.
Exactly, like Paul says in Deuce. Do it.
And of course, we are doing our special wrap up of the first round of Greatest Kiss song as well. Not to be confused with the album we're doing, Greatest Kiss.
Yes. Yes, super excited for that. Super ready to get into round two.
Yes, absolutely. We have our last chance poll that just went up that we will discuss as well. That's definitely a tough decision there for everyone.
Yeah. Yep. Just posting our link over to the Facebook to get some people on. Okay, so I discovered something weird about Facebook today that I did not realize.
Oh, yeah? What?
So it turns out that you can't create a poll with more than 2 options unless you are posting that poll in a group.
So that's why you had to post it in our group page.
Right.
Interesting.
So, yeah. So if so, go over to our group page and put your vote in there. Unless the one that you're picking is one of the 2 that was posted on the actual page. I'll be honest, I posted on the actual page because I'm fairly confident Lick It Up is going to win no matter what's posted against it.
Right. Damn lag.
Yes.
So there you see on the screen, people, plus in the chat, that is the link. If anyone wants to hop on here live with us on their camera, please go straight to that link, and that will put you right in on here, and I will add you to the video.
It will be fun.
If someone could shut the dog up, I would be perfectly happy.
Yeah. Whoops. That's what we want. I didn't pull it up on the phone today. Who's out there? Anybody? Hello.
Hello, people.
That's what we want. Yeah. So want to go ahead and talk about the polls while we're here?
Yeah, let's go ahead and get things started. I know there's a lot to talk about, especially with the wrap-up of round 1. And hopefully some more people may trickle in here.
Yes. Somebody else has just jumped on. It's showing 3. Who are you people?
Why are you watching us?
This is so creepy. Okay, so yes, our round 1 finale wrapped up just like an hour ago with the last 5 polls from round 1. So let's talk about those real quick. Oh, it's Mike Groves. How's it going, Mike?
What is up, bro?
All right, so the first one we posted last week was Shock Me versus Radioactive, which, man, coming right in with a sizzler there. Apparently, our voters did not agree that it was a sizzler, with Shock Me absolutely stomping that one with 84%.
Totally thought it was going to be a much closer battle again, but I did kind of figure Shock Me would take it, of course.
Right. Absolutely. Interestingly, with our history of doing this, today we're reviewing yet another Kiss Greatest Hits that does not include Shock Me.
There you go. But guess what? We do have an Ace song.
Yes.
Finally.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely. What do we got? Ooh, Crazy Kiss Countdown. Hey, that's a familiar name.
Hey ho, hey he.
Yes.
Looks like we got to send a cease and desist to this guy.
Or the other way around, maybe. Yes.
We're crazier.
Yes. We're so crazy we abbreviated the name. Look at that.
We use neon colors.
Yes. So next up on our polls, we had Room Service versus Nothing to Lose. Yeah. Ooh, Old Kiss versus Old Kiss. That's a toughie. In this case, voters went with Nothing to Lose with 70% of that vote.
Definitely
still expected that one to be a little. Yeah. I still expected it to be a little closer, if I'm being honest, but I figured Nothing to Lose. Yeah.
I totally agree. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Our next one is one that we can all say together. This one was Stand versus All American Man. Bet you guys can't guess what won that one. Of course, it was All American Man with 90% of the vote. Yes. So still no song with 0%. We definitely made it all the way through round 1 with not a single song getting 0% of the votes.
If somehow that happens in round 2, that's ridiculous.
That would just be insane. We also posted Master and Slave versus War Machine, which I know that one wasn't super difficult for most people, but Master and Slave is one of my favorite songs from Carnival of Souls, so that was very difficult for me.
Yeah.
So, of course, pretty much unsurprisingly, their War Machine crushes that one with 87% of the vote. And our final match of round 1, Dirty Livin' versus Man of 1,000 Faces. Yeah. Two songs you don't necessarily think of too often together, but they are pretty much from the same era. Kind of an interesting thought there. And in this case, we went with Dirty Livin' with 66% of the vote.
Okay. That's the one I was kind of pulling for.
Yeah, very close. A surprising close one right there.
Mm-hmm.
So, just kind of looking back through all of this, it's interesting to see some of the times things won. Like, looking back through this, the only time that a song from Monster won any of these polls was when that song was up against a different song from Monster. Which happened twice. I'm just looking down the round 2 list. I don't remember now if any Sonic Boom songs won.
I don't recall that any did, because I don't think any of them ended up going against each other.
Right. And somehow that happened twice with Monster.
And, I felt like, honestly, Delilah would have been the only one that would have stood a chance out of any of them, in my opinion. But
That's the one that I was kind of looking for as I'm rolling down. But no, I don't see a single one.
yeah, I don't even remember what Delilah went up against, so it must have been a pretty heavy hitter.
It must have been, yeah. I wonder if there's a way I can search specific text in this rather than because I am curious. If we search Delilah, oh, okay, it went up against King of the Mountain, so
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah.
that's a no brainer for me. Yeah. So yeah, that does it for round one. Now, as we've mentioned in the past, we had an even number of songs in round one, but an odd number of matches, which means we now have an odd number of songs in round two, which doesn't work. So we are doing a special second chance match. Now, what we did for this is we took the top 6 songs that lost. So these were the top rated, which in this case was Lick It Up with 49.6% of its vote, Hate with 48%, I'm a Legend Tonight also with 48%, Who Wants to Be Lonely also with 48%, The Oath with 47%, and Rock and Roll Hell also with 47%. So those 6 are up right now in our group. You can find that Kiss Meets the Podcast group. You can vote for that, or if you just go to our regular old Facebook page, we have posted Lick It Up versus I'm a Legend Tonight, just to kind of throw it out there again. So vote on that however you please, and whichever of those 6 songs wins that, that song will get a second chance to go back into round 2, where it will be put up at the end of round 2 up against Dirty Living.
Goodbye, Dirty Living.
Right. Yeah. So yeah, I didn't vote for Lick It Up because I'm an underdog kind of guy, but let's be honest, it's probably going to be that one. So
Yeah.
I'd love to be proven wrong, guys. Let's see what you think.
Yeah, let's get them in. I mean, again, it's, not to mention, we appreciate, you guys taking part in this throughout the whole round one. I mean, I know it's a lot of stuff to vote on and think about, but hopefully it was more
Yes.
fun than painful.
Yes, definitely. I'm looking forward to posting round 2 in that new group so that we can get a whole ton of vote on these.
Yeah, I'm real excited to see what those first matches in round 2 are going to look like.
Yes, just kind of looking up and down the list. It's going to be a lot of really difficult decisions.
I'm gonna have to put a wig on so I can pull my hair.
Right? Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Okay. So that's round 2 is going to be starting next week.
Be there.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Wait a tick. Oh. Saw Savannah for a minute, but her camera didn't pop in. Now she's gone.
Boop.
It's like she's risen from the dead.
It lives. That's especially strange because the laptop is sitting here beside me.
Yeah, it totally. Her thing showed up at the bottom and then went away.
That's very strange.
I'll definitely pull Luke's hair.
Don't do it. Oh yeah. So
we're Steve, Harry, Javier. I haven't heard anybody say anything. Again, that link I posted up there, if you want to come on the show with us live right now, just click that link and I'll be glad to add you in for anyone that may just be coming in.
Do it.
You know you want to. So, have we gotten any comments from last
We have
week?
not.
Okay.
Let me take another quick peek just to make sure I haven't missed anything. But yeah.
Or I guess comments after we were live I guess is how we should put it.
Right. Let's take a look-see and see if we've gotten... YouTube's doing a really weird thing with comments where it hides them from me unless I hit a specific button. It's weird.
Yeah, I noticed even on the mobile they changed it like that. It's I swear why they keep messing with things.
You're right.
Hey, there's Javier. What is up?
Hey!
Savannah is with us in spirit. She is watching on her phone.
Ah.
Oh, Javier. It's Javier's son. He went to go mow the lawn. How you guys doing? Hey, how's it going?
Good to see you, buddy.
If there's any trivia questions, I can't answer them. I'm going to listen to rap. The only thing else that's rock related is Nirvana. Hey, that's a good start. Nirvana.
Yep, absolutely. Hey, and you know what? I did miss some stuff.
Okay.
All right, so our last episode, Euphoria, Vinnie Vincent's Euphoria. Oh, I threw up a little bit just there.
The memories.
Yes. Oh. We've got a comment from Thomas Hubner. Many apologies, Thomas, for destroying your last name. I'm terrible at pronouncing names. And he says, not possible to watch live streams, but good to have you back on YouTube. Of course, I will watch episodes if I have a little free time. Much appreciated, sir.
Yes, thank you very much, man. Believe me, we're so pleased, and a major stress is off of our shoulders now that we're able to be back on YouTube, especially with this live thing. It definitely saves a lot of trouble to have to go back and edit down the videos just to upload them. So
right,
definitely makes things a lot easier on our end, and please keep watching, and thanks for the comment.
Yes. We've also got the triumphant return of Robbie Stars. Rabble.
Yes. Rabble.
Yes. Very good to see some familiar names again. We were starting to get worried that maybe we had been gone from YouTube for a little bit too long.
Yeah.
So Robbie's commented, Euphoria should have never been released. It's garbage, in my opinion.
Thank you. That's why we missed you.
Yes. Once I knew this was released, I was enjoying Slaughter's first 3 albums. If you guys never heard Slaughter's Fear No Evil album, check it out. It's killer. Very underrated.
Okay.
Will do.
We'll look into that.
Yeah. It couldn't possibly be worse than Euphoria. Okay, and that does it for comments. For real this time.
All right, so in case anyone's just joining and did not catch the album for this week, Greatest Kiss. My opinion, one of the best Kiss compilations out there. Definitely looking forward to this. So, everyone that's in here, do not be afraid to chime in. Give us your thoughts and opinions on all the songs, and So, do we have album info for this, or is it even surprisingly?
Yeah, not too much, but this album was released on April 8th, 1997. Interestingly, not too long after the You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best album was issued. This was the next year, but it wasn't very long. This includes an exclusive live version of Shout It Out Loud that was not released on anything else up to this point. This album has also come out in many different versions, with the US version, interestingly, being the least amount of tracks. Everywhere else got 20 tracks, and we only got 16.
Yeah, it's a mess, but just to clear up anything, we are doing the US 16-track version.
Correct.
The live version of Shout It Out Loud it's from the music video that they filmed for it, which was filmed the night before the official start of the reunion tour at Tiger Stadium. So pretty cool version, but we'll talk about that more when we get down to it. Oh, he hates the elder.
Oh no.
Hey, you know what? I don't know how old you are, but when I was younger, I wasn't a big fan of it either. We've talked about this on the show. There's been a lot of, whether it's Kiss or whatever, things kind of grow on you as you start to age. So, you know, you say you don't like it elder now, but you may end up liking it, you know, 5, 10 years down the road. Who knows?
Very true. Very true. Absolutely. And don't feel bad. You're among several people that dislike that album. You
Oh
know
yeah,
what I mean? Uh, we both like it, but eh, that's the subjectivity of music.
yeah, absolutely. All right. So we're just gonna get into this here. I guess we'll just kind of, I guess we'll mention Savannah's rankings unless she wants to chime in the chat. Um, what about Steve and them? Did they ever send theirs over?
I haven't got Steve and Rochelle's votes as of this moment, but I'm sure if they pop in here, they'll throw them in soon.
Okay, yeah, we'll see what happens. So again, compilation album. Everything on here is your album versions, so there's really nothing, super different other than that. Shout it out loud, but still just a pretty eclectic collection here. So we'll just kind of, and it's always kind of fun to, see where we rank, said song from said album versus when we did the actual album, and
You're right.
just see how it compares. So, all right. So, opening up, we have Detroit Rock City, and this is number 4 for me, mainly because this is, as I've said many times now, my favorite version that I prefer to listen to. Basically, the double platinum version where it just starts right off with the guitar and bass riff. We don't have all that extra stuff at the beginning. That's just me. That's where I'm at right now with my taste. I prefer to just get right to the song and not hear as much. But of course, Detroit Rock City is such a staple. Very fitting that it opens this compilation since it opens so many shows. Um, I don't know what more we could say about that. We've haven't said before already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I didn't even take too many notes listening through this because with some of the absolute garbage that we've listened to recently, it was just such a nice breath of fresh air. The second Detroit Rock City starts, it's like, back in familiar territory. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I had to remember how I used to do it when we did the Kiss discography because I didn't really have to do any notes. It was just this song. Let me talk about like what we're doing. So it was like
Yeah.
all I really needed to do was sit down and figure out how I wanted to rank them.
Right. Yes. Yes. So I put this one at number 9. And yeah, this one was so much harder to rank than everything else we've done because there's no weak link. You know what I mean? Why is this one more than halfway down my list? I couldn't tell you. I just other songs hit me a little better this particular time. But yeah, I agree. For the sake of fitting as many awesome songs on this as possible, having the version of Detroit that doesn't start with all of the, like the Destroyer album starts, definitely the right move.
Mm-hmm. Would have been kind of cool if maybe they kind of added in like the show intro type of thing to it or something. That would have been maybe a cool little extra touch. But
right.
So switching gears right away, the next track is Hard Luck Woman, of course from Rock and Roll Over. This one's number 10 for me. Love the song, classic Peter song. I've always said it's like right up there with Beth. Like I'm almost ready to say that Hard Luck Woman is my favorite Peter song. But again, kind of hitting the brakes a little too soon at the same time after Detroit Rock City, and then to immediately go into something like Hard Luck Woman, I felt like maybe they should have, pushed it down a few tracks and kind of kept that energy up. But again, hey, classic, great song. Love the vocals. So
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
there you go. 16. Yeah, I mean you're right at that age, man. When I was your age, I was real big into hip hop and stuff, and I'm not gonna lie, I still like a lot of the old stuff. I mean, so just gotta expand your horizons, man.
Oh yeah. It never ends.
Yep.
It really doesn't. That's cool. Your teachers compliment that on it too. Let's see. So I forgot to mention on that last one, Detroit was Savannah's number 6.
Oh yeah, duh. We totally forgot.
Yeah, it just completely blew my mind already. Hard Luck Woman was Savannah's number 3, and it was my number 15. And yeah, I think you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I think it was just too early for a slowish kind of song.
Right.
If this one had been like 4 or 5, I think it would have hit me a little better. But I was raring and ready to go after Detroit, and then I was like, oh, okay, that's not that's not what I was expecting to happen. But all right, let's go with it.
So then next up, we go into Sure Know Something off of Dynasty. This one ended up coming in at 15 for me, so actually next to the bottom. Again, just kind of the way it went for this one. Again, I love the song. There isn't a song on this compilation that I despise or anything like that. It's just, compared to all the others, this one's a little, I don't know. I don't want to call it boring, but it's a little more of a laid back song. Obviously, we all know. And again, it's a little early in the collection, and just the way it stacks up with all these other tracks on here. So many. If you want to call it heavier per se tracks, for Kiss. I just felt like it was kind of the black sheep of the whole set list, to be honest.
Yeah, this was one of the many on this that I wasn't expecting to hear. Having not studied the track list too intently before the CD started,
Yeah.
And just like you said, especially so early. This actually was Savannah's number 1.
Oh, okay.
And then I put it at number 7. And for me, this one has a pretty strong nostalgic factor to it. That bass line hooked me the first time I ever heard it. And it was one that I kind of figured out on my own early on when I was a teenager. I liked the use of the minor 7th chords. On top of that, there's Steve's picks.
There's Steve chiming in.
Yes. So, yeah, this one I voted a little higher just because it kind of activated that nostalgic back in the younger days.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I definitely have a little special place with that song because that bass line was always one of my dad's favorite, Kiss bass lines, and just so good.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna try and get Steve's on here real quick, like.
So I don't know if you saw your dad's comment. He said he tried to get your mom to pick her favorites from the album, but she named about 8 of them that she recognized, and said she likes. Let's just say her favorite is Calling Dr. Love.
I'm still hung up on the trivia from last week. It screws me up thinking that they didn't play that song on the Rock and Roll Over tour. That's so weird.
Yeah, something still feels wrong about that for some reason.
That's nuts. Yeah.
I need to pull out the Life Forever book and kind of really dive into the set list there to figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know if I have it handy or not. It's probably put up.
And Detroit. And okay, got Steve's in there.
So backing up a bit here, Detroit Rock City was actually Steve's number one. And then Detroit Rock City was Rochelle's number 8. And then Steve ranked Hard Luck Woman as his number 9. Rochelle's number 1 is Hard Luck Woman. So
nice.
A lot of varying picks here. And then number 2 for Steve was Sure Know Something. And number 3 for Rochelle, Sure Know Something. So I don't remember if you said Savannah's pick yet for, I believe, Sure Know Something.
Yeah, it was her number 1.
That's right, duh.
Yeah. And I almost got all of this in here. Sure Know Something. Okay, and then let me redo our scores for the 3 that we've talked about so far. Oh, dang it, that created a tie already.
No.
It wasn't tied before. All right. All right.
All right, next up, we go to from Dynasty all the way back to the first album with Deuce. And this one gets a number 1 for me. I just can't deny how awesome this song is, whether it's the live version or the studio like this one is. Yeah, I mean, don't really need to say much more about it. I mean, it's, everyone knows Deuce. The bass slide gives you goosebumps every time you hear it. I've always just loved that driving beat that it has, and just perfect song.
Yeah. Ooh, Dad volunteers to break the tie. Get out of the way early. Detroit and Sure Know Something.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Deuce is number 5 for both Savannah and I. Is number 8 for Steve and number 10 for Rochelle.
Okay.
Yeah, you just can't deny the feeling of this. Pretty much, it's like you read what little notes I took. Yeah, people complain about the first few albums sounding weird, and they definitely have a specific tone. But again, it activates that nostalgia for that first album.
Mm.
That the way that Deuce sounds is something that they've never been able to recreate, even when they redid it on Kiss Classics, trying to get it to sound kind of like the original version. Yeah, I kind of wish this one had been second. If it had followed Detroit Rock City in the track listing, that would have made it even better.
Oh, man. And it looks like the tie goes to Detroit.
Absolutely. Got it.
All right. And then, so now we jump over to Destroyer once again for Do You Love Me? And this one came in at number 16, which is dead last for me. Again, I believe we talked about this. Maybe it was on Destroyer or maybe it was on that Classics album. But I don't know. Just kind of a little bored with the studio version of Do You Love Me right now at this point. I mean, yes, I'll listen to it if it comes on in the car, but it's not one of those that if I'm just sitting here, picking some songs off the computer or whatever, I don't really go to it as often as I might have, in the past. But that's just where I'm at right now with it. And, again, it's still a staple song, and I do kind of prefer the live version over the studio based on that extra, thing at the end that they add, and definitely gives, a little better flavor to it, and definitely a good part of the show. Every time they do that, never gets old to me. Unlike the Who thing and Lick It Up.
Yeah, good Lord, yeah. At least they wrote the bit of "Do You Love Me,"
Right.
Yes. This was 12 for me, 10 for Savannah, 15 for Steve, and 6 for Rochelle. Yeah, I totally agree. This is a great song. It's a classic Kiss track, nobody can deny. But this is one that playing it in Sweet Pain actually kind of killed it for me. Not that we did this one bad, and I think we discussed this when we did the Destroyer album forever ago. It's just such an A-B song, and so it makes it less engaging. Not a bad song, but less engaging than some of the others.
Right. I totally agree. Not It's one of my least favorites to play, even to this day. But hey, it is what it is, and I would much rather be sitting in the audience watching them play it and hearing it, because to me it feels and sounds better that way.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's definitely not one of the funner ones in my opinion.
Right.
So we are right back to Dynasty all of a sudden with I Was Made for Loving You. This one comes in at number 11 for me. I mean, again, just another classic. It's just funny, how they'll tell those stories about how they play at metal festivals, and there's these diehard metal fans, and then Kiss gets up and you see them same guys singing along to I Was Made for Loving You. It's got that universal catchiness to it that no matter what you're into, that song is going to hook you one way or another. Just another well-written song, and love the sound of it, the production of that album. Anton Fig's drumming on there, love that. The little fill before the solo section and everything. So yeah, just another timeless track, man. I can listen to these songs over and over and over, and never begin to get tired of them.
Yes, definitely. Let's see. This was number 8 for me, number 2 for Savannah, 10 for Steve, and 2 for Rochelle as well. And yeah, this one, especially after "Do You Love Me," you know what I mean? Again, very A-B, whereas I Was Made for Loving You, not necessarily quite so A-B. And so, yeah, I was really digging it when it came on. So, again, not super high up on my list, but it just hit me the right way this particular time.
Yeah. And, I've always kind of been a bigger fan of the studio version versus any of the live versions, to be honest. I just, something about that live version just has that kind of magical, perfect sound that they just couldn't really capture live again.
Right, absolutely. Plus, they kind of tried to rock it up live, which was great. I enjoy hearing them play it live, but yeah, again, it's the same thing that we were talking about with Deuce, that the way that Dynasty sounded and the way that song specifically sounded, just it triggers that nostalgia factor.
Absolutely. So then, heading back over to Rock and Roll Over with Calling Dr. Love. This one's number 3 for me. Again, just one of them staple Gene songs. I would definitely put it in the top 5 of the best Gene songs, and the most fitting Gene songs for that matter. Again, like, being that this is the actual studio version from Rock and Roll Over, just to mention, I love the version off of Double Platinum just as much almost. I love that different mix on it. But in this case, anyway, just always love that opening guitar riff, and when it goes to the solo and I don't know, what is that, like a flange or something on the solo there. That always love that. you know, one of them things that's always stuck out to me, like even from a young age. And this is one of them songs that, you know, I'll always put on if I'm listening to some Kiss music.
Definitely. Yep. Number 6 for me, 7 for Savannah, 6 for Steve, and 9 for Rochelle. Yeah. You know, one thing that I've always loved about the studio version is the background vocals and the chorus.
Yeah.
Now, this is one thing that I felt they also kind of got right when they re-recorded the song for the second disc of Sonic Boom. Even though it was very different on that version, it was more of a 3-part harmony, more like what they do live.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded great too. But this is just, I don't even know who it is that's singing Calling Dr. Love. It could be Gene, maybe it's Paul. It could be female background singers they hired. It's hard to tell. But it just lends itself to this particular version. And then, of course, there's the creepy Gene, Dr. Love, near the end.
that used to catch me off guard when I was younger, and that would startle me a little bit, like, whoa, like this weird, creepy voice out of nowhere.
Yeah.
God, I was going to say something and forgot now. Oh, well. Totally forgot. All right. Heading over to Love Gun now with Christine 16. What Savannah says, the Dr. Pepper commercial is the only thing I think of when I hear Calling Dr. Love.
Yeah. And that, believe it or not, the version that's in that commercial is the Sonic Boom version.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to say regarding that. If I'm trying to remember, but I feel like I ranked that one as my number 1 when we did that album because it sounded the most like the original out of all those.
Yeah.
Which was like pulling teeth, but
right, yeah.
So yeah, Christine 16 up next from Love Gun, of course. This one's number 5. I mean, again, just at this point, watch what I said about it during Love Gun. I mean, the feelings that this song gives me, and you know, forget about the lyrical content. To me, it's more about the music and the rhythm is what does it for me. Like, not what he's actually talking about. Javier, what's up, man? Hope that lawn looks good. But yeah, I mean, just one of my all-time favorite. Again, just another great Gene song. It's a good, feel-good song. It helps lift my spirits if I'm, in kind of a bummy mood. And like I've said before, I cannot stand the live version. None of the live versions hold a candle to this studio version. It again has all that little magical stuff in there that just could not be replicated live for me. Just another one that I just never get tired of.
Yeah. Yep. This one was number 4 for me, 11 for Savannah, 7 for Steve, and 14 for Rochelle. Yeah, this is one I've always personally regarded as an absolute classic Kiss song. And again, this album was just a trip down memory lane for me, apparently, because it was just such a... I remember being young and hearing this song. I can picture being out in the garage at my parents' house. Dad had made all these different Kiss mix cassette tapes, and there was a stereo that sat out there, and I can still remember the way the garage smells. And for some reason, this song is one that triggers that particular part of that, and this might have been one of the first Kiss songs I ever consciously remember hearing and associating with them.
Nice. And of course, Phantom. That's probably one of the first times I ever heard the song was honestly that scene in Phantom. And just that little bit was always like, what is that? That's cool. And,
yes.
Just when I thought I couldn't like the song anymore, when I finally heard that demo version that Gene did with Eddie and Alex Van Halen, wow. That's now I'll step back a little bit and say that is the only thing that comes close to matching what ended up being on Love Gun, for my opinion.
Yeah.
Savannah says you should read her review for this song. It is hilarious. All right, we're holding you to it.
Let's see. Where is it? She says, this song always reminds me of like a 50s diner with malt shakes. I see them in full costume performing in an old time chocolate shop, and I see these guys in leather jackets and girls in poodle skirts synchronized dancing. And they have a cool guy with the greased back hair doing that keyboard part off to the side. But the main girl, Christine, is definitely in leather like grease. This song is great because of the visuals it gives me. It always makes me smile.
See, there you go. That's kind of the key thing about that song right there is that it makes you smile. Everything that you said, I said, and she said, pretty much all centers around making you happy when you hear it.
Yep.
All right.
Did you see Javier's
The lawn looks great.
well, yeah, that, and he says, I always thought Gene was also in school when he saw her. I never thought of it as him being an older guy out of school.
Yeah, same here. That's the way I always took it back, in those days.
Right. And I mean, that makes more sense because, I mean, if you really think about it, even when this song was written, that still would have been considered inappropriate. Why would he do that on purpose? Like,
Right. And, there's handfuls of songs from that time frame and, even the 60s and everything that are along those same, I guess, boundaries, if you want to call it that. And it just, as weird as it sounds, it was kind of the norm back then.
right.
Right, Dan? Oh, God. So we, again, go back to Destroyer and another song about a girl. This is Beth. Number 14 for me. I was actually just listening to Beth just the other day in the car. It was actually the that acoustic version from Phantom.
Nice.
And it finally struck me after all these years. I'm like, the reason this song is so great, it has nothing to do with the music or the strings and everything. It's Peter's voice. I mean, this song could have been a cappella, and I think it still would have been as big of a hit as it is. I mean, his voice is just so perfect on the song that that's why again, all love to Eric Carr, but his version just doesn't touch it. Eric Singer, much respect, his version doesn't touch it. I haven't heard anyone come anywhere near how Peter sounds on this version. Is just so perfect, and it just kind of hit me like a brick the other day when I was listening to it. I was like, man, that is why this song won awards, and why it's so great is really it's his voice is what makes that song so great.
Yeah, absolutely. This song was tailored to him.
Yeah. I mean, the original, the Beck thing, that's kind of cool too. But man, whatever, the way he changed up his voice for this track and when he laid that track, I mean, that was just pure magic. And,
Yeah.
it just would not have worked with anyone but Peter. I'm truly convinced.
Right. This one was also my number 14. Looks like number 9 for Savannah, 11 for Steve, and 5 for Rochelle. And yeah, this one ranked low for me. Just wasn't necessarily in the mood for another slow one at this particular moment, but it's still, there was no moment of this album at all where I was like, "Geez, is it over?"
Right, right.
I mean, it was enjoyable all the way through, but that when it started, I was like, I could have, just like with Hard Luck Woman, I think I could have gone for something a little more rockin'.
I mean, I can agree with you on that. Like, again, it was kind of that because, again, Christine's such a nice upbeat, and then Beth. But at the same time, I kind of like how they sort of somewhat cleverly put in the two, songs about the girls back to back. That was kind of clever. But Yeah, I can agree. Like it was almost like too much of that break being hit again after Christine. Steve, you have a good point there. I've always kind of wondered something like that. He says he's always believed that Christine 16 was inspired by Gene when Kiss did the whole Cadillac High thing back in, what was that, 75. And there's that famous picture of Gene with the cheerleader that's wearing the demon makeup. And, Gene was definitely smitten with her. That could very well be true too. And I've always kind of wondered that as well.
Absolutely.
So let's see. So we go all the way back to the first album once again for Strutter. This one, number 9 for me. Um, another opening track from an album here. We've, had a few already with Detroit and I Was Made for Loving You and everything, and now Strutter. Um, says a lot. Another, um, I mean, my God, this is the song that started it all, really. I mean, that first Kiss album, that was everyone's first experience of Kiss, that drum intro, and that was it. And from then we were, by the end of that album, we were all hooked. And then you wanted to turn it back over and start it all over again and hear Strutter again.
Yeah.
But again, like I've always kind of pictured the Strutter thing being more of like I don't know, a lady of the night, let's call it. I always kind of picture like the dark New York, with the smoke coming out of the sewer, how they always portray it in the 80s movies. And there's this girl, strutting down the street, and Paul's singing about her. Maybe he saw this lady, when he was a cab driver before Kiss got going, and maybe that's where he got inspired to write it. Who knows?
There you go. They could do a music video like that as a sidebar to the All Hell's Breaking Loose music video.
There you go. Yeah. Throw Strutter over All Hell's Breaking Loose, and it would probably pretty much match.
Yes. As soon as you said like the streets from an '80s movie, that's all I could picture.
Yeah.
Them walking around in the All Hell's Breaking
It's like
video.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Like, that was all the movie version of New York City back then, and all those movies was so dirty and rugged, and smoke coming out of the sewers, and
yes,
it was always
absolutely.
so over the top.
So this one was 13 for me, 12 for Savannah, and 4 for both Steve and Rochelle. This was absolutely the perfect way to start the first Kiss album with that. The way it starts, I think we've had issues with that with a lot of these second coming albums, where the album doesn't start in an exciting way, and it just kills the mood for the whole rest of the thing. To me, for some reason, on this particular compilation, I didn't feel like Strutter sat well right here.
Mm.
Again, now, Beth had kind of put me into this lull, and then Strutter starts to jump a little bit. Still enjoyed the listen, but yeah, I'm not sure I would have been mad if this one would have started this album.
I agree. And there's a lot of them that I felt that way.
Yeah.
And then, if you really kind of look down the list, so far, pretty much every one of these songs starts with a very well-known lick,
Yeah.
I mean, you could just play the first second of each song, and I guarantee people would know what that song is right away.
Right.
And it pretty much continues that trend, looking at the rest of the list.
Uh-huh.
All right. You already said everyone else's rankings for that, right?
Yep.
Okay, totally had a brain fart. All right. Well, this time we stick with the first album and we jump to Cold Gin. So this one's number 8 for me. Would have rather seen it a little more mixed up in this order instead of being back to back coming from the same album. But I guess if anything, it's kind of cool to hear it in that sequence versus how it is on the actual album. But just another, and it's like I still wish to this day. I mean, as much again, this is totally classic, and as much as I've always loved this version, I still wish that Ace would have just sung from the beginning. That would have been such a cool Ace vocal, especially for that first album. And
Yeah.
but I mean, they still, you know, they hit gold with it.
Yeah.
Gene's vocal on there is great. I love the drumming on there, the little syncopation stuff that Peter does, and the whole the that whole thing.
Yes.
Classic. So yeah, just another timeless track. I mean, I'm sure we've said that a lot here, but that's just the truth.
It is. Yeah. Yes. This one was number 10 for me, number 4 for Savannah, 5 for Steve, and 13 for Rochelle. Man, I love Paul's woo at the beginning of the song.
Mm.
It's just so. I don't know if maybe youthful is the right word for it. He sounds genuinely excited, and I
Yeah.
always enjoyed that. That there's no false pretension in that. He just lets it go. And for this one, as much as I absolutely despise lead singing live, I this was one of my favorite songs to play in Sweet Pain. Uh, it's a fun song to play. It was a fun song to sing. I love the middle part, except for when Gino would lick me. That was maybe not so enjoyable, but yeah, that was kind of what was running through my head while this one was playing was fond memories of playing live with Sweet Pain.
Awesome. Yeah, that was a fun one. Savannah says before she learned the title of Cold Gin, she thought he was singing "It's Trojan Time" again. That would definitely match the theme there with nothing to lose and everything.
Yes.
All right. Now we go back to Love Gun for Plaster Caster, number 12 for me. Again, that signature lick to start it off, that bass line. So simple, but yet so familiar. And, you know, this is another one. And yeah, it's on the same album as Christine, obviously, but I. I almost get that same kind of vibe with this song as I do with Christine. It's just got that good, that good flow to it. And I've always loved the part when it goes to the chorus and Peter kind of brings the drums down, just that that beat that's going right with the vocals and everything just has a great feel to it.
Yeah.
That's a good idea, Javier. He says we should do a Greatest Kiss 2 of tracks that never appeared on any Greatest. That would be fun.
That's a good idea.
And a lot of homework.
Absolutely. Because, it actually occurred to me, speaking of that very idea, that right when you started talking about Plaster Caster, freaking Love Gun's not on this either.
There you go.
What?
Yeah. I mean, that's one thing I've always loved about this is some of the selections. It's, because at the time, they weren't quite as, I guess, I don't know. I guess you can call them staples, but at that time, it almost felt like they weren't as well known, at least to me. Coming from, I was like, 16 at the time that this came out, and, was still discovering Kiss songs as I would listen to albums and whatnot. But
yeah.
No, that's a great idea. We'll definitely have to take a note of that, and that would be fun researching all that to figure out, and coming up with a list.
Absolutely. Javier, while you're here, or if I'm not sure if Dad's still watching or not, we've got another tie real quick that we need an impartial person who didn't vote on the rest of it to settle. Plaster Caster or Beth.
Oh.
Somebody that didn't already vote, chime in on that. Plaster Caster or Beth. Plaster Caster is number 3 for me. Looks like 13 for both Savannah and Steve, and 12 for Rochelle. This one's really high on my list, not only because this is another song that's just classic Kiss to me. It kind of triggers the same thing that Christine 16 does. I feel that the garage in the backyard of my parents' house, but also because I just wasn't expecting to hear this one. You know, my top 3 for this greatest hits package were essentially, that was the thing that put them above, was just oh man, that one? I wasn't expecting to hear that, and it was just so enjoyable to be listening to a Kiss greatest hits and hear a song that I would have assumed most people wouldn't think of as a big hit. Very nice. Yeah, always loved the song.
Plaster Caster gets the vote from Javier.
Awesome. I'm going to put that in. Make sure that didn't tie it with anything else. Yes, okay. Sweet.
All right. So, surprisingly, the only track coming from Dress to Kill here, but also not a surprise that it's on here, Rock and Roll All Night. Number 6 for me, and I think you all know why at this point, if you've heard me gloat about it as well, being that this is the album version and all the memories and meanings that it has to me. You know, Phantom, everything, you know, just the magic to it. It's to steal a lyric from Kiss, it's got that magic touch.
Yeah. Nice. Another one for you here, Javier, because we ended up with the exact same score for this one. Rock and Roll All Night or Beth.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yes. This was 11 for me, 15 for Savannah, 14 for Steve, and 7 for Rochelle. Yeah,
wow.
You know what? I love this version. Again, it brings to mind Kiss Meets the Podcast, or Kiss Meets the Kiss
Yes,
Meets the Phantom.
That's right.
Exactly. Yes, I can't use the word meat anymore. It's the podcast now. But yeah, and we've talked about this 100 times when we did the other albums and stuff. To me, the quintessential Rock and Roll All Night is the version with the guitar solo in it, like Alive or Alive 3 or even MTV Unplugged. So just personally for me, I would have preferred to, and it's like one of the only times that I would ever prefer to hear a live version over a studio version. I desperately wish the guitar solo was in the studio version of Rock and Roll All Night. It would then, for me, make it hands and feet above any live version.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I totally like that version too, but just something about the studio. I mean, and it's like, come on, radio stations, why can't you play the studio version every now and then?
Right.
I always hear the live version, no matter what, when it comes on the local radio station. But
yep.
I mean, it is classic. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I like that version too, but yeah, just that extra stuff that's special about that one.
Yes.
But yeah, surprisingly, the only track off of Dress to Kill on this album.
Yeah, that is very surprising.
And once again, we go back to Destroyer for, what is this, 1, 2, 3. This will now be the 4th song off of Destroyer with Flaming Youth. This is number 13 for me. Another one, you know, I love the theme of it. I've always, you know, especially when I was younger, I felt like I sort of related to it when it came to the vocals and, you know, what they're talking about, you know, being young and sort of rebellious and, you know.
And flaming.
Yeah, flaming. And plus I was a Ute.
Yes.
But, yeah, Paul's vocal delivery on this is great. When it breaks down and they're doing the harmonies there, that's always a nice little extra thing to hear. And the live version I never thought was too hateful. I thought they pulled it off well live. Unfortunately, they didn't stick with it as long as I would have liked to have seen because it just kind of pops up here and there. Um, but yeah, just another solid track off of Destroyer. So
Yeah,
Destroyer definitely represented well in this.
very, very. Yeah, this is actually my number two. 8 for Savannah, 12 for Steve, and 11 for Rochelle. And yeah, again, it came from two things. One being surprised at having heard this one on a greatest hits. Um, yeah, and Heavy Airs just chimed in there with the same thing. Flaming Youth, the
Right.
track that blew me away that was on this. And then the other thing is we've been getting together and jamming some Kiss songs, me, you, and Harry Mills and my dad. And this is one of the unexpected ones that I've been really enjoying playing too.
Yeah. Yeah. And until we started doing that, which has been fairly recent, that was the first time I think that I've literally ever sat and played it on drums. That just
Yeah.
all the years of listening to it and knowing it in your head, and then to actually finally play it on an instrument, that it's crazy.
Yeah, definitely.
After all these years with some of these songs, but it's fun. Love it.
It is.
Okay, so now we come to the only track from Unmasked, and again, this was the big shock for me. Was Two Sides of the Coin, number 7 for me, and again, I'm going back to when this first came out. Um, Obviously, at that time, it was when I wasn't a big fan of Unmasked, other than maybe 2 songs, and this was my introduction to Two Sides of the Coin. And honestly, at the time, I thought that maybe it was a new song, from the reunion lineup, and Ace singing it. But of course, I quickly learned that it's off Unmasked after I picked up that CD and everything. But again, I've always liked this song too. I've always felt like it's sort of a underrated Ace song to an extent. Um, yeah, just I love the kind of upbeat drive of it, and the chorus section. Paul really stands out on that chorus section. You can really kind of hear his voice over everyone else. but
Yeah.
uh, yeah, just a really cool song, and again was just one that I felt like really made this compilation that much extra special to me.
Yeah, absolutely. This was the big number one surprise for me that I just was not expecting. Of all the Ace songs, I still don't understand why it wasn't shock me, but I am happy that it was this one. Um, so this is my number one.
Wow,
Uh,
nice.
yeah, it's 14 for Savannah, 16 for Steve, and 15 for Rochelle.
Wow.
Yeah, so I'm in grand opposition here. But yeah, this is hands down my favorite Ace song, as far as the ones he sang, at least. And so to hear it on here was a bit mind blowing, really, because I at this point I thought, well, there's probably not even going to be an Ace song on this. Near the end of the album, I wasn't expecting even Shock Me, which is what I would assume they would have put if they were going to put one. So hearing this, yeah, it just reminded me, like, man, I love this song. I wish they would have done it live when he was still in the band. I'd still love to hear him do it live now. It's really underrated song, I think.
Yeah, they definitely should have thrown it in the set list, especially at that time and of the reunion mainly.
Yeah.
All right, so we are now at the last track, and this is Shout It Out Loud, the live version, also known as the new video version. This is my number 2. And, I've made no mistake of saying that I'm not a big fan of Shout It Out Loud live. Even the Live 2 version, I'm not a big fan with the way it translated, but this is like probably the one live version of Shout It Out Loud that I actually really enjoy, and I feel like does the most justice. And at the same time, I say that, but sometimes I almost tend to forget about this version because then I'm like, oh yeah, that Shout It Out Loud that's on Greatest Kiss, I love that version. And of course, they threw it on the box set too. But again, the music video for this thing is super cool. I remember the video being on the Detroit Rock City DVD, or no, I'm sorry, not that. The Second Coming DVD, they put it on there. So always can picture the video as I'm listening to that version, and God, that the bombs at the end of that thing, man, just the like deepest, most bombastic sounding bombs I have ever heard on any recording. I mean, that's one of them things like I'm always looking forward to at the end is just that and just feeling it. And so yeah, and I like because this was like one of the first times I think that they started doing where Ace would do the come on everybody shout it now. Like I think they kind of started doing it during the reunion, so that
would make sense. Yeah,
I believe that was one of the first times doing it that way. And again, like we said, they were recorded that at Tiger Stadium the night before the official start of the tour, so that was kind of an extra special thing for those people. And just to sum it all up, I think this is the best live version of Shout It Out Loud that they've ever done.
Definitely. Yeah, I'd definitely get on board with this one is better than the Alive 2 version. Definitely. This is my number 16. Same with Savannah and Rochelle. This is Steve's number 3, however. I'm not a big fan of live versions. I never have been, especially on something like this. It seems a little bit out of place that it's the only live version on the entire thing. I would have personally preferred to hear the Destroyer version, I think. That and just, I don't have a whole lot of great feelings towards the reunion tour or the Tiger Stadium show, just generally. Not to say that there's anything specific wrong with this track. Trust me, I tried to find it, but it's not there. But yeah, I also wasn't big on this being the end of the CD until Savannah pointed out that it was really neat to have it go out with the crowd. You hear that huge crowd, the bombs in the crowd, and after she said that, and I got to thinking about it, it's like, you know what? Yeah, that does actually make a lot of sense. That is a fitting end to the like one of the best greatest hits compilations of Kiss. Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's why I think it would have been a little more special had they had thrown that show intro at the very beginning going into Detroit Rock City, and that would have kind of made it feel more like you just experienced a show or something. But
right.
But yeah, I mean, just that whole fade out of the crowd just going bananas, and like you mentioned with the bomb and everything right before that. Yeah, just pretty cool. Let's see. Javier says, going back to Rock and Roll All Night, what he doesn't get is why add the extra 2 seconds between songs on Dress to Kill. If they would have had Ace do a solo, the extra seconds would not be needed. That is true.
Yeah.
Javier says the reunion tour was amazing, Luke.
Have you ever watched Kissology 3? I can test that opinion. Jeez.
I will be the first to say that if you watch that opening night Tiger Stadium show, yeah, there's a lot of flubs and things like that. But you know what? It's kind of fun at the same time because it's like, you know what? They're they're probably nervous as all get out, even though they've been rehearsing their butts off and been doing it for all them years. But it was probably just like a lot of emotion and adrenaline flowing,
Right.
and it just showed that hey, they're just like all of us. They made some flubs too, but you bet your ass. As the tour went on, though, they definitely tightened up. I will say that.
Right. Yeah. See, that I think that's kind of part of it for me is that I don't have quite the emotional connection because I didn't experience it as it was happening. I was far too young when all that was going on
Yeah.
to have any concept of it. Oh, hey.
Hey,
I'm crashing the party.
Yeah. Yeah.
you went
He
from
was in the
commenting to
comment.
being here in person.
Yes.
If you comment enough, you just materialize here.
There you go.
in the transporter.
Who needs a link? You can just show up at Luke's house.
Yes.
Well, hi everybody. Bye.
But yeah, I think coming at it from a technical musician standpoint, hearing it, well, take Kissology 3, I think, is a good example. You go from the Alive 3 concert to MTV Unplugged to Tiger Stadium, and in that context, Tiger Stadium is jaw-droppingly bad.
I was shocked the first time I watched that full show because again, I was so used to this shout it out loud, and then that junk that they threw on "You Wanted the Best." I was under the impression that okay, this is how they sounded. After watching the Second Coming, they were ready to go. They
Yeah.
practiced their butts off, but yeah, I mean, watching that show, like I said, it was just they pulled it off, but yeah, there was a lot of close calls, and now it kind of makes me want to watch that show again now. Just
Right.
Javier says yes, I have seen it, but being that I'm not a musician, I don't hear things like that. Plus, being able to see the original band live for the first time, I was flying high. I agree. I mean,
Absolutely. Yeah.
I didn't see the originals until the Psycho Circus tour, so I still had a few years to wait to do that. But
I think I'd be right there with it too.
Yeah.
If I had been old enough to witness them taking the makeup off and then to see them come back and it's the original guys and it's the Love Gun costumes and they're performing together again, I think I'd be 100% right there with you.
Because that was always the question then was, are you going to put the makeup back on? Are you going to put the makeup back on? Are you going to? And that was the thing everyone kept asking. Oh, and then we'd get their stock answers all the time, and just like nowadays, it's all, oh, is there going to be a reunion? Is there going to be a reunion? It's so that's kind of all we kept hearing back in them days was, are they going to put it back on? And it got to a point where I was pretty much convinced that it would never happen, and I got to where I was okay with that because, hey, we still have the those old albums to look at and the old magazines and whatever to experience that stuff. But and again, I sit here and I think we talked about this recently, but it's like, to me, I still feel like that whole time period of the reunion stuff is still fairly fresh and not that long ago, and to me. But then when I sit here and really think about it, I'm like, here we are, what, 20, almost 20, yeah, almost 25 freaking years. That's a lifetime.
Crazy.
That's a lifetime for some of these, people that are around today.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's crazy to sit back and think like, God, that's been 25 years, and I remember it like yesterday. But then back when the reunion was happening, I would sit there and think like, God, what was it like? During the 70s when all this was going on, and then that was pretty much just as far apart then, that whole weird time thing that happens. Like back in 96, it was like almost as far apart from the 70s stuff at the time as we are now from the reunion stuff. It's like, it's just crazy. Like
That is
Because
wild.
like I said, to me, it's all still fairly fresh, and it's just hard to believe that it's been like 25 years almost.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hey, Javier says he wishes they would drop the makeup again.
You know, I don't disagree. Um, I almost wish they would do that, and then I don't mean to sound like selfish, but maybe they would continue to play a little bit longer if they drop all the makeup and stuff again. But I
Yeah.
mean, that doesn't take away the fact of the age that they're all getting to be. But
Right.
but I've always said, and we've talked about it on the shows here and there throughout the past. I would love to see them do like a stripped down, even if it's just an all acoustic show, and they go on, and play some of these smaller venues that you can't fit the full Kiss show in. I'm totally all for that myself.
Absolutely. We do have a four-way tie.
Oh,
Javier,
jeez.
you're the guy here. You're the impartial guy that hasn't already voted on these. So I don't know why this score was the magic number this time, but put these four songs in order for me, and then that'll be how they appear on here officially. Okay. Beth, Rock and Roll All Night, Two Sides of the Coin, and Shout It Out Loud Live.
Well,
Those four in any order. Yeah.
well, while we're waiting on his response, I guess overall I would give this a 7. As much as I want to say 10, I just don't feel like it's fair to give a compilation a perfect score. But I've always said this is probably my favorite Kiss compilation, and it's pretty much still that way. Yes, there's a lot of good ones out there, but a lot of them tend to repeat a lot of the same old stuff. But this one was the first time that I felt like they really mixed it up. And again, we're talking 1996. Especially me as a 16-year-old Kiss fan, some of these songs I wasn't quite as familiar with, or this may have been my introduction to, like, especially Two Sides of the Coin, things like that. So it was definitely a good gateway to kind of get me to listen to some of that stuff that I never realized I was missing out on. All the years prior that I had, whenever I started listening to Kiss, as a little kid or whatever. But so yeah, just the perfect compilation for me. I used to wear this thing out. I remember having the CD. I'm I don't even remember, but I probably bought it when it came out. I don't recall if I bought it or got it as a gift or something, but I know I had the CD. I do remember that, and I used to just wear the thing out. I don't know if I even still have a CD copy of it anymore. To be honest, I'll have to look. Not to mention, ever since 2014, this is now one of the most valuable Kiss records out there now, because they
Wow.
pressed this on vinyl for the first time, exclusive only to the box set. Never sold it separate like they did with many of the other catalog. So it's become like a pretty high dollar sought after Kiss album, believe it or not. So I just saw too that they're getting ready to once again reissue double platinum yet again, but this time they're going to have like a picture disc version where each side of the record is going to be the face of each member, and it's going to be like $200, and that's the day of release price. So hard telling what that might eventually skyrocket to down the road.
Wow.
But anyway, kind of get back on track. Yeah, I mean, like I said, this is my favorite, and this is I haven't heard any compilations before or since that I think are gonna outride this, and kind of the special memories I have of it, and because I always put this right right there with the reunion tour and all the memories I have of the time, when I was that age. So, yeah, just a great one. So Javier has responded.
Yes, two sides of the coin. Shout it out loud, Beth, and then Rock and Roll All Night. We have got it. Got it in there.
It's funny how every time we do these compilations and it's Rock and Roll All Night and it's always the studio version, it always ends up being like the least favorite track somehow.
Yeah. It's kind of funny.
When in all honesty, 90% of us, that was the song that got us into Kiss,
Right. Yes. So Rochelle gave this one a 9. Steve gave this one a 7. Savannah gave it a 9. And I also gave this one a 9. And yes, I also really, really considered giving this one a 10. And I think the 10, I was thinking of it in the context of all the other albums we've done in the Second Coming. And it's just so, and it's no coincidence that it's so clearly head and shoulders above everything else that we've done. Even the other album that we've done in all of this that was clearly in first place, which was Black Sabbath's The Eternal Idol. Trying to find that one now just to see what we rated it, but I remember that one, nothing was coming even close. Where did it go? Here it is. 8.3 is what we ended up rating that one. And yeah, I mean, so much of the rest of this Second Coming series has just been, oh man, why? It was such an incredible breath of fresh air to be hearing not only Kiss songs, but the big ones, the hits. And I think this also stands head and shoulders above all of the other greatest hits that we've done. I didn't really care for Double Platinum that much because of what they did to some of the songs. The changes that they made were meh, in my opinion, compared to the originals. Killers, same way. I love the 4 new songs, but something about Killers just in general seems kind of bland. Smashes, thrashes, and hits, geez. I love Let's Put the X in Sex and You Make Me Rock Hard, but what they did mix-wise to the rest of those tracks is trash.
Oh my God, yeah. And that's being nice.
Yeah. And then You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best is a not necessarily absolutely god awful, but if it wasn't in the discography, I wouldn't miss it. You know what I mean? This one has everything I love. It's got the hits, but it's also got some that you don't expect. It's got a ton of songs. It's got good coverage of the band's makeup years. This, I can truly and honestly say that if somebody said to me, hey, I know you're like a big Kiss nut. I've never really listened to them, but what would you recommend I start with? This. Absolutely this. Take Greatest Kiss and take a listen to it. And if you like that, you'll like all of it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, I gave it a 9, but man, I came real close to giving this one a 10.
Yeah, I just had to, keep myself from. I'll be honest though, had we had done the import version that had all those extra tracks, I might have went against my own will and gave it a 10. But let's see. Javier says instead of Shout It Out Loud being live, they should have done Rock and Roll All Night live, where each member sings a part. That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Savannah says is the very best of Kiss on our list.
I don't believe it is. I'm not even familiar with that particular.
I believe that's the one that has like the 4 faces on the front, if I'm not mistaken. No, I don't see it. It looks like the only Kiss after this is the live Millennium concert. Kiss 40.
Kiss 40 and then Kiss World.
Kiss Rocks Vegas. And then we're going to do that kind of mixture of all these rare songs or stuff like that didn't make it to albums and whatnot.
Right,
which,
right.
which I was thinking about that. I mean, I know we still got a long time before we get to that, but I was already thinking about how we could do that once we get to that point. Kind of put together an album per se of all those songs, like come up with how many we want to put on there.
Totally.
I don't know. Should we put Very Best of Kiss on our list, or is that a little much overkill since we've already had Chikara and now this, and we've got Kiss 40 still coming up, which is another greatest hits.
And a big one.
Yeah. Michael Groves, I click on the video and first thing I hear is Luke say, "You made me rock hard." I'm so honored.
You are welcome.
Did we... You said we had Kiss World on here? I don't see it on my list.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, it's the very last thing.
Ah. Okay, well then that makes another very large compilation as well.
Yes.
So I don't know. Maybe we should not do Very Best, because if we do Very Best Kiss, then we're going to have to add the other greatest hits compilations they've put out too.
Yeah. Kiss Gold and Kiss Gold 2.
What's that one that has like the white cover? I can't think what it's called.
I'm not sure.
Let's see, taking a look real quick here. It's just literally just called Greatest Hits. It came out in '97, so it literally came out after Greatest Kiss.
Like right around that same.
Yep. And this one actually has Crazy Nights, I Was Made for Loving You, Detroit, Lick It Up, Hard Luck Woman. A lot of the same stuff, except the differences here: Love Gun, God of Thunder, Hotter Than Hell, Shock Me, Black Diamond, and God Gave Rock and Roll to You are the big differences from the one we just did here.
Wow.
Yeah, Very Best of Kiss. That's the one that has like the four faces in color. Again,
there's 3 volumes of Millennium Collection.
Oh, geez. That one has the live version of Rock and Roll All Night. Got to Choose, Come On and Love Me, Hotter Than Hell, I Want You, I Stole Your Love, Love Gun, New York Groove, I Love It Loud, Lick It Up, Forever, and God Gave Rock and Roll to You are the differences on that one. So, yeah, there's definitely a lot of greatest hit, all the icons. That's one I always liked, because I always liked how they did that, where they separated them by member.
Right.
Yeah.
I think we have some of that Millennium Collection. I'm remembering something along those lines, but yeah.
Cool.
All right. You ready for some rankings?
Yeah.
I can't talk and type at the same time. I'm typing the top 3 up here.
So real quick, while he's finishing that up, next week the next 2 weeks, we have a double shot of Ace Frehley again. So first up next week is 12 Picks, which again is a compilation, but it's basically a mixture of studio and live tracks of Ace. Some cool stuff on there. And then the week after that, it'll be the Loaded Deck album, which is, I believe, a full-on live album. I can't recall right now if it has studio tracks as well.
I don't remember either.
But I believe it's mostly live. But yeah, so 12 Picks is up first next week.
Sweet. Yeah, that'll be interesting. We're getting into a lot of really interesting stuff coming up. Stuff I've never, like Union and the Eric Singer project.
Yeah.
Never heard any of that.
Real excited for that. Yeah. I downloaded a couple of those Bruce albums the other day to go ahead and have those, and I think I found most of the ESP and Union stuff, so I'm gonna have to get those downloaded too.
Sweet. All right, so it's been a while since we've done a really big album like this. I remember back when we were doing the main discography, doing like a live and a live 2, and it 16 songs. Holy crap! So lots of ratings here, and no ties, thanks to Dad breaking up that first one, and then Javier breaking up the other ones. So
yes, very well. You guys were right in on it.
Yes. All right, so in last place for this album, it is "Do You Love Me?" Clearly, we didn't. And Eli will be very disappointed to know that in 15th place is "Rock and Roll All Night." In 14th place, Beth. Yeah, this is Javier's picks right here. In 13th place, "Shout It Out Loud" live. In 12th place, "Two Sides of the Coin." In 11th place, "Plaster Caster." In 10th place, "Flaming Youth."
Here's where it gets rough.
Yeah. In 9th place, "Strutter." In 8th place, "Christine 16." 7th place, "Cold Gin." In 6th place, "Hard Luck Woman."
Kind
In
of
5th
surprised
place,
it made it that high.
Yeah. "I Was Made for Loving You," 5th place. In 4th place, "Calling Dr. Love." And our top 3 for this week: in 3rd place, "Deuce." In 2nd place, bafflingly, "Sure Know Something."
Wow.
Yeah. And in 1st place, "Detroit Rock City."
The lead-off track.
Yeah. This did end up with an 8.2 out of 10 average rating, which puts it just below Black Sabbath's "Eternal Idol." So very close to first place throughout all of this. And nothing else is even approaching it. We don't have anything else even in the 7 point anything, I don't think.
I feel like it's only fair if it takes the top spot. So somebody's got to get a couple more rankings in there. Come on, Michael. Some of you guys that don't ever give votes.
Yeah, give us full album votes. Oh, I lied. We do have both Badlands and Trouble Walkin' both had 7s. So I guess
Lucky
that puts
7.
Trouble Walkin' in 3rd place. Yeah, Trouble Walkin' in 3rd place now with 7.6 out of 10.
Nice.
Yes, I do believe. What's in last place? Oh, Laura Nero, still definitely in last place with a 1.3 out of 10.
Oh Lord, yeah. I was glancing ahead at Kiss 40. That's like your jaw's gonna hurt by the time you're done reading those results.
Yeah. That's 2 discs even, isn't it?
I believe it's yeah.
Good God. Javier says we need to check out the band The Scream. It was a band John Corabi was in. The title of the album is called "Let It Scream." That'd be interesting.
Oh well, I should have known that. It's called Kiss 40, and it literally has 40 tracks on it.
Oh well, there you go. Yeah, we'll definitely check that out, Javier. That sounds cool.
Yeah, it does.
We met John Corabi, sort of. We didn't actually get to talk to him, but he was at the expo last year.
Yeah, still sounded great, I thought.
Yeah.
Same with Mark Slaughter.
Yeah. Although I'm fairly certain his guitar tone damaged my ear. My God, I've never heard so much high end in a guitar. That
All right. Well, I guess that wraps up this episode, Greatest Kiss. Again, we thank you guys and gals for all joining us and chiming in. And we love the participation.
yes.
So don't forget, go over to the Facebook page. Which song is going to get back in? Is it Lick It Up or what's the other one?
I'm a Legend Tonight.
Yeah.
And then you can also, if you're in our group page, you can also vote for Who Wants to Be Lonely, Rock and Roll Hell, Hate, and The Oath, in addition to Lick It Up and I'm a Legend Tonight. One of those 6 gets back in.
So don't forget, go over and put your votes in on those. Again, next week, we're heading over to Ace Frehley. We're heading back to Jindal. 12 picks. Looking forward to hearing that again. I like the compilation. I think that pretty much covers it all. Anyone got anything you wanted to chat about real quick before we get out of here? Otherwise, we're gonna hit the road. The end of the road.
Hit it hard.
Michael just put in a vote for Lick It Up. That's
nice.
We figure that's probably going to be the winner anyway, but hey.
We are going to open it up.
Now give us a vote for Greatest Kiss, Michael. What do you rank it overall?
Yes. Right now, Lick It Up and Who Wants to Be Lonely are tied in the group.
Oh, wow. Who Wants to Be Lonely is a popular song.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the people who've voted, we got R.J. Jordan on Who Wants to Be Lonely.
Yeah, I miss R.J. He needs to pop in.
Yeah, be good to hear from him again. We got Steve on Lick It Up, looks like. Lots of votes scattered across each of the 6 songs. I like to see that. That's neat that, again, not a single song with 0 votes.
Nice.
Nice. Sam, my younger brother Sam, popping in to vote on Hate.
There you go.
Got Aaron Philpott on Hate as well. I saw Robbie Starr somewhere too. Oh yeah, he voted with you on Rock and Roll Hell.
Ah, sweet. Show it some love, people.
Yes.
Michael gives it an 8 out of 10. Greatest Kiss.
Nice.
Javier asked, "Did we get to see this tour? Which tour? You mean End of the Road?"
We definitely saw that.
Yeah, we Luke and I and Savannah actually we got to go to the Cincinnati show last summer, which was amazing. I've got some photos and whatnot from it. We're definitely planning on going whenever it happens at the show that was scheduled for here in Dayton. Of course, that's not going to happen this year, but hopefully it'll still happen next year or whatever they end up deciding. Robbie Stars, what is up, dude?
You're here. Oh, I'm going to smack you, buddy. You did that on purpose.
Hey, I got to agree with you, Robbie.
You guys all suck.
Javier, yeah, we didn't get to see as many shows as you have on this tour already, but seeing that one was, man, that was Savannah's first Kiss concert. Yeah, we had a blast. It's always a fun experience, man.
Definitely.
Ooh, nothing will compare to double platinum. Not even Greatest Kiss. Talk to the hand. Yeah, I mean, Robbie, I like some of the gimmick stuff of double platinum. I do like some of those remixes, like I said, Dr. Love, but I don't know, man. Greatest Kiss is just for straightforward, album cuts. It's such a strong compilation, man. Javier
For
asked
sure.
if we have gotten any new items. Other than I showed a couple 45s a few weeks back. I think that's the most recent Kiss related items that I have gotten. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting something.
Yeah.
Well, actually, they're still right here just in case you missed them. I've got a promo 45 event of the night, Fraley's Comet, the Japanese Naked City, and Tomorrow, which I found out I got gypped, and the actual vinyl is not the Japanese pressing, it's an American pressing, but it still sounds good, and I guess at least I got the cover, whatever. But,
Right.
and then
Right.
and then just a pretty, pretty common, the Christine 16 and Shock Me. Just wanted to have that. I'm still planning to repurchase the Casablanca singles box set at some point. That's one of the things that I'm definitely regretting that I parted with now, and I definitely want to get it back at some point, hopefully sooner than later. But, so that's kind of on my radar. Have you picked up anything?
I haven't gotten anything new for a little while. Savannah went out to she went out to Trader's World, which is a big, huge flea market right here, close to both of us, actually.
Yeah.
And she picked up a copy of Revenge, which was cool. I didn't even realize that I didn't have a physical copy of that. But I'll tell you what, even though this isn't even close to new for me, I've been rediscovering playing this. I've got the Paul Stanley Silvertone Apocalypse guitar, and I've been playing the crap out of this recently. So yeah, that's definitely a fun guitar. I got this. This was my second full-size guitar, just because Kiss, and also who doesn't want a guitar that looks like this?
Yeah.
But yeah, this is. It's been a little while since we've used ye old podcast theme song, but I actually recorded the theme song on this guitar.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little fun fact there. If anyone remembers that the song we use is actually Luke and I. Little ditty that Luke wrote and we threw together. Yeah, that is
Absolutely.
one thing. That is one thing about doing this live now. I can't really throw in like the live thing anymore. I mean, I can if I edit it, but
right.
Javier, you said you saw that for $125. Do you mean the guitar, or what are you referring to? Savannah got Revenge for $1.
Wow.
It made her holla. Yeah, I don't think I think that's about the only Kiss stuff. I know, Javier, you've been killing it. He's been picking up all kinds of great merchandise, old and new.
Definitely.
Figure, why not show the Bob Kulick CD again sign?
Nice.
Oh, the singles box set. Really? $125? Where? I would be all over. Is it the vinyl version or the CD version? Because I know the CD version tends to go for a little cheaper. If it's the vinyl, man, I would be all over that. Let's see. Michael Groves got Dynasty on vinyl. I Was Made for Loving You Skips. Got it for $2 and just framed it. Yeah, there you go.
Nice.
You can always find you an upgrade copy at some point. Robbie Stars, are you thinking of reviewing all the Kiss albums again anytime soon? If not, I hope you review some Osmonds albums from the 70s. Just kidding. Your band is awesome. Keep on making cool music. Robbie, you might believe me or you might not believe me, but I was literally listening to Crazy Horses the other day from the Osmonds in the car.
Nice.
That's a cool album, man. That's one of them albums that I had when I was a little kid, and it's just always kind of stuck with me for some reason. Crazy Horses and the song Hold Her Tight.
Nice. Yeah, and you know what? We were planning on doing all of the actual Kiss albums again after we finished the Second Coming series. But I'll tell you what, it probably wouldn't take too much if enough people were like, "Hey guys, why don't you ditch all this weird crap you're doing and go back to the main discography?"
Yeah,
we probably would.
Yeah, I'm totally not against like doing that myself, and then maybe coming back and finishing all this stuff at some point. Where if we were to do that, I mean, I'm really cool either way, to be honest. But I do understand that
right.
we may not, catch everyone's attention as well with some of this stuff as, maybe when we did the actual Kiss albums. And, I know especially now that Savannah's a part of the show, she's, mentioned a few times how she, wishes she could have done the Kiss album. So, I mean, it's definitely something I think, really plan to do is just kind of like when, or, like Luke just said, you guys tell us if there's a big enough demand or something, then hey, we'll take a detour and come back and hit that stuff later after we get through the Kiss stuff again. I don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, Javier, he's got some posters coming. It was the vinyl. If I see it again, I will send God, please, dude, man. 125 for the vinyl. That's killer. That's a great deal. I definitely would be all over that. That's crazy. Crazy Horses better than Crazy Nights, says Robbie Starks. Told you, man. I listen to all kinds of stuff. I've got that album, the Osmonds album. I don't know. Let's see. Javier. I don't know if you can see that there behind me. That's something fairly new that I got, I don't know, a month or so ago. It's one of those Gene Sun posters from, what is that, 80, I believe.
Nice.
That's pretty cool. That's a kind of a new piece. I need to kind of frame it a little better than what it is. It kind of slid down.
Yes. Oh, hey, Robbie brought up the band and making awesome music. Hey, buddy, you need a face mask? Because we got face masks. Check that out. That's pretty cool. We got shoes, too. Those are downstairs.
Yes, we have shoes. Buy the shoes.
Winter shoes. Yeah, please buy the shoes.
No, let's see. What is it? Christian band shirts?
Yeah, Christian band shirts. Yep. Whole lot of good stuff on there, but also we are on there.
So, yeah. Right there on the screen, christianbandshirts.com. If you guys want to, go to that site, put in After Winter, and, yeah, you can find some cool merch with our logo on it.
Absolutely. I got some more stuff coming in the mail at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I also have the, Luke and we have the After Winter phone cases.
Oh, yeah.
Those are very cool.
Definitely.
There it is, yeah. My kids have confiscated my phone as usual, or I would show mine.
Yes.
Yeah, Javier, man. We got to finalize this trade, man. I'm sitting here with this stack of CDs for you and everything, so yeah, we definitely got to get that going. I know we keep talking about it, but I'm ready to do it, man. I mean, I've still got more stuff to burn for you, but I mean, with what I've already burned, it's a good start, so we can go that route, whatever. So we'll have to talk. Robbie, nice posters. I still have my original unmasked poster. 40 years old. I might buy one of those cool masks. Where to buy? ChristianBandShirts.com.
Yes. Right there. There's all sorts of stuff on there. Hoodies and shirts and shoes and mugs and stickers, masks and phone cases, and it's all good stuff.
Michael wants to know if we have underwear yet. he recommends G-strings with each band member's face.
We all have really big faces, though, and that's not a lot of cloth.
We're also going to release some plaster casters.
Yeah, those won't cost very much. They won't. I mean, they'll be pretty small, mini.
Life size after winter plaster cast, only an inch tall.
Woo! At least we're honest.
Yeah, Javier, we need to talk more. We definitely need, like I said, we need to get this thing going and get these CDs out of here. Plus that stuff I was, looking forward to getting from you anyway.
Absolutely. How to get these the game board sent over to you. Boy, the Second Coming game board is really
it's full now. It's getting sexy in here. That's right, Savannah. I feel like
Javier's gonna call you.
I feel like I hear an echo of the echo of us talking.
That's pretty funny. That I just heard me laugh from over there because I can kind of hear Savannah listening to the show.
Oh, that's what it is. I heard that too. I'm like, what the what?
Holy crap!
Javier, shoot me a text if you don't mind, because as soon as I get off here, I'm going to be eating dinner. I am starving and I smell it.
Yeah. Oh, hey, so Mike Brunn has just posted something fairly interesting I didn't realize.
Oh, yeah? What?
This is the 32nd anniversary of Paul Stanley and Gene Simmons surprising concertgoers by joining Ace on stage at New York City's Limelight Club for a performance of Deuce. This was Fraley's Comet on tour at the time in support of the Second Sighting album. This is the first time the three of them had been together on stage since 1980, if you don't count the TV promo spots for Creatures. And he's even got some pictures posted of it. That's really cool. I didn't know that happened.
Wow. Again, like the way the time flies, it's just crazy.
Yeah. Oh, he's got a picture of the flyer too, and their build is Ace Frehley's Comet.
Huh. Another thing we're going to do fairly soon is another watch along of a video.
Yeah.
Like whether it's one of the home videos or a movie or even just some of the music videos, something. That would be
definitely
a nice little change up too again.
Yeah, we've got one of the things on our Second Coming list is Paul Stanley's One Live Kiss, which, to be honest, I'm not sure if that was released on CD. That might be DVD only.
I did just download the audio version the other day.
Gotcha.
I think someone basically just ripped it, and it was on that one site.
Yeah, that would be neat to do a watch along of that when we get to it.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. Oh boy. Yesterday was the anniversary of You Wanted the Best, You Got the Best.
Oh boy.
Had to remind us.
Yes.
Javier, I have a question, or anybody that's in here for that matter. Do you happen to have any Kiss concert posters, like the real things, like especially from the '70s? That's something
That
I
would
would like to
be
own from any, just something that's vintage. That's a good idea. Kiss, a watch along of Kiss Loves You. I do have that. I purchased that on Amazon Prime digitally, so we can definitely do that. Michael says Detroit Rock City. Yes, I agree with that too.
that'd be cool. I haven't seen that in years.
Ah,
That would be awesome.
yeah, double platinum galore on the Kiss website. That's the new. I guess that's the one that's being honored right now for an anniversary.
Nice.
All kinds of stuff.
I'm a little disappointed that we're not still getting videos from Paul every once in a while, like we were getting there for a second.
Yeah, same with Bruce too, right?
Yeah, Bruce has still posted a couple of things, but not as often as he was.
Hmm. I mean, with Bruce, I could totally understand, especially with what happened with Bob and everything. But
Right.
which, as far as I know, we still haven't heard like an official cause of death. So I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, speaking of him, I just went to Bruce's Facebook page, and actually, about half an hour ago, he shared a picture of him and Bob.
Well, there you go.
He's been talking up his guest appearance with Quarantine.
Yeah. From the farewell tour and overseas at the current. Nice. Yeah, it would be awesome to get a hold of some of them vintage concert posters somehow, but I know they're pricey.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
still cool, though.
Michael says Eric Carr, Tale of the Fox. That's definitely one that I was thinking of too that we should watch at some point.
That is a
Yeah.
good one.
We definitely got plenty to do. It's just we got to figure out when we want to do another one and which one first.
Yes.
So. All right, everyone. Shit, it's going on 8 o'clock here. Starving. I think we're going to get out of here. Again, awesome to hang out with you guys. A lot of good chatting going on. Let's keep it up for next week. The Ace Fairly 12 Picks album. We will update you again, but it's looking like we'll probably stick to this same time as of now, like probably around 5:30 Eastern. So I'm sure that works out for a lot of you guys as well, too. So.
Yes.
All right,
Somebody
then.
grab Jay Rucker and get him in here.
Yeah, get Jay in here. That's all we need him now. And Harry wasn't here today.
Yeah.
We need Aaron in here,
Yeah,
RJ.
Dang it, we just about had the whole crew today, too. So thanks, guys. That was awesome.
Absolutely. And again, the invitation's open. Anyone that wants to come on here with us, don't hesitate. Don't be scared. It's very simple. So let us know. All right, everyone. We're going to get out of here. And again, don't forget to put in your votes for those songs, what's coming back to round 2, and get your votes and rankings in for 12 picks, and go ahead and spread the word and get some more people in on Greatest Kiss for that matter. Let's see if we can raise it up even higher. All right, then. So until next week, you guys take care, be good, be safe, all that good stuff. and we'll see you then. Make a list on Facebook of watch along videos and have people vote. Yep, that's a good idea too, Mike.
Yeah.
We may do that. All right, guys. See you later. See you next week.
Yeah.